Ladies and gentlemen, it is February 23rd, 2022, and this is FAWMtalk. I'm, of course, Juha, and with me, as always, my trusty co-host, Mr. First only Chris. How are you doing?
Hello. I think I've got an abscess on my tooth, so I'm feeling a bit grotty and a bit sore and maybe a bit swollen, but I'm getting there. I'm still here, still kicking.
That's not good. Well, hope it turns out to be nothing at all. Well, today we have a guest here coming from UK. Welcome back to the show, Mr. sw1n3flu. Ben, how are you doing?
Great. How are you guys?
Well, a little bit of Guinness in my pint.
Okay. Very nice.
So the cocoa has been abandoned then?
Well, it's alternating weekdays, right?
All right. Only alcohol-free here today.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah, it'll be all right.
Ah, sweet. All right, let's...
I was going to say, after Guy Mitchellmore tipped a mug of tea into his Complete Control S88 Mark II, I no longer allow food and beverages in the studio, and every week I watch you guys necking drinks and going.
Well, what I try to do is I try to balance this on top of each other.
What's the worst thing that could happen?
Yeah, right. Well, let's get some music. The first song today is by Radio Benedetto, and this one's called "The Boy Remains." The Boy Remains by Radio Benedetto.
That is just such an amazing song.
Oh,
I was saying, so I've just reminded Dragon Dreams because he was going, thanks, that's who it reminded me of, which is Randy Newman.
oh yeah, I can hear that.
Definitely got that kind of slick, perfectly crafted vibes from there. And the production's just absolutely outrageous on that. Very few guitars, one has to say.
Outrageous.
Just what is the world coming to? But that piano is up front and center, just where it deserves to be. Rather splendid.
Yeah, very bouncy. That's sort of almost funky. Yeah.
Yep, very much so.
So Ben, how's FAWM been going?
Yeah, not bad. It goes fast and then it goes slow. So I've done nothing for a few days.
Yeah.
But that's nothing to do with waiting to recover or anything.
I'm amazed you can even talk. Listening to some of your vocals, it's like, man, how do you do that?
I think it's been a growly year. I was listening to last year's earlier today. It wasn't quite that full on. Not sure.
I mean, fair play, because I'm just awestruck.
Takes all sorts, doesn't it, on this platform?
Oh gosh, yes.
It's all good.
Yeah, I love the attitude you get coming out of your mouth.
Mostly from this seat as well. This is where I've recorded everything this year, pretty much.
All right.
I may have recorded one song on the bed, but apart from that, got stuff here. I've got that still plugged in as well. Turn that down.
A nice array behind you as well.
Yeah, there's a few bits, but I mean, it's
so how long have you been a songwriter? How long have you been a musician? How long have you owned musical instruments?
Since I was 15. I'm 43, so yeah, a while.
Yeah,
not this many, obviously, but I've still got my old guitar somewhere in a cupboard. It's like a knockoff fake Les Paul type thing.
Oh, splendid.
Hohner Rockwood. It just feeds back. It's amazing. But not the good kind.
Perfect. Not the good kind.
I might try and dig it out just for like this weekend and see if I can get something out of it,
Yeah.
So was that your gateway drug, a Les Paul copy?
That's just what I got one Christmas, Weird how life works out. I really wanted a Super Nintendo, and my dad was kind of like, "Well, how about a guitar?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Yeah, all right, yeah, that's pretty cool." And that's it. So,
Goodness me.
so as simple as that, really.
I feel like there's a
this
challenge there. Like you just got to make feedback an instrument, right?
Yeah. Well, I could. So I saw something Sapient wrote. I got one of those recently. I haven't used it at all, so I can combine the two.
Right.
There you go. Well, there you go. Right. So Ebo.
Yeah.
So I could combine the two and have some sort of cacophony of noise.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Definitely. You gotta give that a try. Yeah. For sure.
Accepted.
For any of our listeners or viewers watching who are going, what the hell's an Ebo? It's basically a big magnet and it shakes your guitar strings. So you don't actually have to pluck your guitar strings. You just hold it over the strings and they start vibrating. And when you use one for the first time and you're not expecting the guitar that you're holding to suddenly start shuddering as the magnets kick in, it's like, what is this all about? Great fun.
Yeah.
How do Ebos work? Yeah.
It's magic mostly.
Yeah.
It's not magnets. Magic.
Magic and caffeine, probably. For the extra shakiness.
Bought from the Thoman's Magic Shop.
Or the DTs.
Oh,
Yep. Those will work as well.
Yeah.
So what? You just started playing guitar? It sounded to me like you weren't like completely into it? You were just like, yeah.
Well, no, I was massively into music, but I was a kid. I wanted a video game console. But,
well, sure.
So I got that. I then moved to Malaysia and had to wait 4 months for my guitar to turn up. So I basically had a guitar, didn't know how to play guitar, waited 4 months for it to turn up. But it all worked out because my school decided to buy some drum equipment and some drums and some amplifiers and a bass and a guitar in like the third term I was there. So that meant I could start a band. So I did that.
Excellent.
Not one that went on to fame. Oh my God, it's so bad. So bad. Nirvana backwards.
Superb.
And Avrin or whatever we were called. Yeah. Yeah. And then the second band was even worse. The second band was called Ish because we were sort of punkish or rockish or whatever. So we just called ourselves Ish. So,
that's superb.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. It sounds like something Spinal Tap would have done.
It was quite literal. Yeah. Yeah, it was fun. It was good, you know.
Yeah.
You know, it's like trying to learn how to play instruments on the fly is always a challenge.
Oh, yeah.
But you never learn faster than when you're doing so with other people who are playing as well. It's if you've never been in a band, I can really encourage you to form your own bands out there, folks.
Yep.
If you've not already done so.
Pick your instruments out of a hat. Okay, you play the clarinet.
I've got one of them somewhere.
Yeah.
Start learning.
Clarinet made it to one of Van Halen's albums. They got their dad to play a clarinet solo on Big Bad Bill is Sweet William Now.
Oh,
Blimey. Which album's that?
I think is it Diver Down? Somebody in the chat will tell me which one it is. But yeah.
My dad asked this, like, is there any instrument that hasn't been on any Jethro Tull album?
Spoons?
This is like, well, sure, but I guess
castanets don't seem to be that big an instrument in the
Like
Tull
this.
camp. I think.
yeah.
But who knows?
I suppose, as with spoons, there might be a lot of percussive instruments, but I was thinking didgeridoo.
Yeah, don't know. I am not. Oh, Dragon Dreams has just said, "Yep, it was indeed Diver Down." Yeah,
There we go.
there we go.
Chris won.
Yeah, I was sort of most heavily into Jethro Tull in the 80s once they started to become unfashionable. So the first album of theirs I bought was A, which is the one with Filing Dale Flyer, and it's all sorts of very sort of existential angst about nuclear war and early warning radar stations in Yorkshire. But
well, yeah, sure.
But so Ben, you have been playing drums.
Well, yeah.
recently.
Yeah. I've got a kit, but so not organised enough to get the equipment down into the garage to actually record it properly. So I did a drums first couple of recordings. So I put the iPhone on a table, decided I was going to play at a tempo, played bits of some patterns, and then came back upstairs and thought, all right. And I've managed to put 2 songs together based on that.
Wow,
That's
So
excellent.
bit back to front. But I mean, about two or three years ago, I was talking to Juha and TC about this. It's like, I've got to play the drums. I've got to put drums on, live drums. I'm not doing it. And I didn't do any at all. So this time I thought, okay, I'll just do something and see what happens, you know?
Oh, absolutely. And that's the best way to do things, is just you stop trying to be good and you just do something.
That's my approach to the whole of FAWM.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
Just do it. Yeah.
But that's how I get the best results. It's typically not... I might not love the songs, but I get something done. So it's like... What else do you need?
Yeah.
Well, if you try to force out perfection, then it's gonna be a big fat goose egg there. But yeah,
it
drums.
just goes to show that there is no cut and dried. This is how you must record any given instrument for February album writing month,
No.
or even rely on instruments at all.
No.
That's one of the reasons why I absolutely love doing FAWM, because you sort of have this carte blanche to just make noises with stuff. So
Yeah.
I mean, this week I discovered that if you've ever seen the film The Silence of the Lambs, the poster had a picture of Jodie Foster with a big moth stuck in front of her mouth. That moth was the Acherontia atropos, or death's head hawk moth. And I discovered this week that they make noises when they're annoyed. They make this sort of very, very sort of aggrieved squeaking noise. And I then discovered that one of the native instruments that I've got that came with Complete, the Kinetic Treats, I think it is, or Kinetic Toys, one of the others. It has samples of that moth, and slowed down, it's like, whoa, that's going to be a song. So moths, any inspiration you can come across can suddenly turn into a song.
So is that already recorded?
Yep.
All right, I'll go check it out.
Mothcore.
So if you want to know, the title of the song is "Reverse the Polarity of the Neutron Flow,"
Okay.
which is a reference to, well, I know Sapient picked it up because he immediately came back with another quote from the same show.
Right.
But I'm not going to spoil the surprise of what the show is. Mothcore, Dragon Dreams has now come up with.
He came up with it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, I definitely didn't say that out loud. Always the butterfuck. Oh well, let's play some music. I'm gonna go pout with some music. Thank God it's a very short song, but here's the next one. This one is called. Well, I can't actually see the. Oh, there we go. This one is called Your Grave, a gender-neutral bathroom, and this one is by Clown Residue.
There's another bouquet that was left on your grave last night. And what a stupid mistake. Everybody understands this place is nothing but a glorified latrine. A gender-neutral bathroom, if you know what I mean. I am doing you a favor, so your gifts will never die. May your flowers live forever. May your flowers live forever. I will water them with my own piss tonight.
Your Grave, a gender-neutral bathroom by Clown Residue.
That's great, man.
That is the most epically punk song that I think anybody will do this form. And the fact that it is so gentle and quiet and beautifully restrained just makes it even better.
Oh yeah, there's something about that. It's just, I'm gonna remember this one.
Yeah, definitely a keeper, that one. That was different, says Dragon Dreams.
Good, different.
Wow. So, what are we gonna talk about tonight?
So,
yeah, go on.
I was going to say. So I have so many windows and monitors up here. So with the Slack chat is talking about. Well, Andy, Artificial Eye, is saying, the worst part of this corporate meeting I'm in is somebody just made a Spinal Tap joke and got the "but it goes to 11" thing wrong. It's like, oh,
Really?
yeah. Inspiration. So the Monday night drinking song.
Yeah.
absolutely superb. So I'm kind of getting a certain amount. I mean, my liver is definitely getting sort of flashbacks, but so rather than the old cliche of where do you get your ideas from? I want to turn it around and go, what to you is your thought process when you suddenly go, well, that's a song? Is there a thought process?
It depends. It depends. A lot of it is just off the cuff, even when it's a bit more formed. So, maybe it's irony because I don't typically drink ever during FAWM. I made an exception on Monday night, but I posted that song on Sunday. So maybe it was in anticipation of what was to follow. I don't know. I put so that particular track was one of the live drum things.
Yeah.
I then put a guitar thing on it. I thought, okay, that'll do. And then did the bass, and I was like, right, well, we need some lyrics or something. And then I think typically what I do is like have just a rambling load of rubbish, and it might even just be me making noises, and then try and find something that makes sense. Sometimes I'll write it out, sometimes I won't. And then I don't know. I've still got like 2 or 3 songs from this FAWM which are in that state where there's nothing that's kind of worked with the music. But yeah, I don't know.
So do you do like a sort of temp track for the vocals, which are just sort of random syllables and things?
I have been. Yeah, I have been.
That's really interesting because many years ago I went and saw Peter Gabriel at the Millennium Dome, and he said, I've got a song here, and I don't know what it's going to be yet. So the vocals are just me babbling. Right. And my wife has said, for God's sake, don't perform that because everybody will think you're drunk. But he did anyway, and it was rather lovely. And it ended up being on his last or most recent, I don't want to say last, given the number of people that are popping off at the moment. I saw Gary Brooker from Procol Harum passed away this week. But it ended up being a song on his most recent album
with lyrics.
Yeah, rather than just blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, it's not normally that bad. It's just just come up with some stuff. Sometimes it's absolute garbage, and you don't. I mean, sometimes I post that anyway, but I don't know.
The spirit of FAWM.
It is, but I mean, if I posted all of the crap that I record, there would be an awful lot of stuff listed, and it would be unintelligible garbage. So, I don't know. Sometimes I have a specific idea. So, but most of it just comes. I just think of something and run with it and see how it goes. So, I've got a collaboration idea which is notionally based on the wind, all the storms, but. And about how, maybe they could just blow all these difficult people out of our way, politicians mostly and megalomaniacs. But it's in its nucleus at the moment. It's not really anything, but we'll see. It might make it. I hope so.
So what's the sort of maximum amount of time that you'll let something like that marinade?
During FAWM?
Generally.
Well... most of the time quite short. The idea is there. I'll write it out. Sometimes I'll write half the song and then I'll come back to it the next day and then try and finish it. But it won't be weeks and weeks. But there are songs like everybody where, they're 10 years and they're still not finished because I think it's worth doing right. But then you go beyond the point of no return.
I was still thinking, like, how do you get yourself to come back to a song? Because I find that extremely difficult. If I've been working on something and then I set it aside, like, okay, that can go there now. And then I start working on something else, I guarantee I will never touch that song again.
I guess sometimes I just load some of the songs up and see and hit play and see if it's takes me somewhere. A lot of the time they don't. Like I'm still trying to finish a song with one of Zikoop's drums. I did one, but I did another one which is very different stylistically, and there's an idea there, but it's not where it should be. But I will go back to that because it's in my mind to do so. But there are other things on this computer that, I'll listen to them in 2 years and go, what is that awful rubbish? What is it? But I won't delete it.
Yeah.
I'll leave it there. I've got over 1,000 voice memos on my phone, for example.
Oh.
I won't ever listen to all of them again. So perhaps it's, sometimes I'll be on the tube and I'll just randomly listen to something and go, yeah, that is really awful. Or, I remember that. I don't know what to do with it. Okay.
I recently went through my phone voice memos. I don't have that many of them. Typically when I get an idea and I'm thinking to myself, like, oh my god, I have to do something with this, but the only thing I have is my phone, so I record it. And most of them are okay, and I made songs of quite a few of them this FAWM. But some of them, I was listening to them and I could not understand what was going on. I could not figure out what the melody was supposed to be, what the notes were supposed to be. It was just like...
Time for a collaboration.
Yeah.
Send that across.
Oh, my Lord. Yeah, do whatever you want with that.
Yeah. It's all yours. I'm not really a lyrics guy.
throw auto-tune at it.
Oh, yeah. I've done that before.
The important thing in FAWM is to have a good time, right? To have fun.
Absolutely.
That's why things like skirmishes are always good value, because with me, you don't really know what's going to come out. Sometimes it'll just be a throwaway one recording, just make it up on the spot. Other times it's a bit more involved. But I last year, again, I was listening to stuff. Last year, I was supposed to be hosting a skirmish, and I forgot about it. So I made an ironic song about me screwing up, and about, well, was it irony? I don't know, but about me being a bit of a dumbass for not doing it. It's fun. It's 1 minute 10, but
yeah,
it made me smile.
Well, that's the important part, isn't it? It's gotta get yourself to care. But so yeah, you go back to your songs and you listen back to them. I just find it so. I was talking about this on Slack one day. So like how I found it very difficult to get to recording songs, because every time I start to record a song, the process of setting up the project and everything and tuning the guitar and plugging it in and picking it up and doing everything, it takes so much effort because you have to constantly make decisions, and decisions are what really drains your energy. And so what I found is that I need to just really get rid of everything that I don't need, which is difficult because I think I have on my template I have 70 tracks, and there's like the BBC Symphony Orchestra, and I might need those. I might want to have tuba on this track. I might want to, because some of the tracks have tuba. And I was like, thank God I had that. But then it's just always, the template takes like 40 seconds to load, which is at the beginning you feel like, okay, I'm going to make a song now, and then you start loading the template, and when it's loaded, you're feeling like, I could do something else right now. But yeah, so I just had to get rid of everything that I'm absolutely everything except the things that I absolutely need. So I just have guitar, bass, and drums, and like some synth there. And yeah, that's how I got into working. And how I also eliminated the amount of setup I have to do with my instruments, because I just opened 14 template tracks on Reaper, like on tabs, and then I recorded guitar on each one of them, and then I put the guitar down, and I picked the bass up, and I record bass on each one of them, and then I put the bass down, have the drums on every track, have the piano on some, and have clarinet on this and this there, and then I just render everything. So that helps me because I don't have to set up. It's such a load off to just be able to focus on one instrument at a time. But that's so. What got me into this rant is when I try to go back to my old songs, it's always like, well, I could listen through these 15 songs I have, but it always takes like 2 minutes to load up each one of them.
Right.
So it's like, yeah. And even more so, if I want to do something else with them, it's like, well, I don't have that instrument anymore. It's complaining that it can't find that sound file. I can't find that instrument.
See,
like,
this is why you should never delete old synth plugins.
oh my lord. Well, sure. I guess there's a point to be made, but having all those synths on the list when you open up a new track and you're like, well, what instrument am I going to use? And there's like whoosh, 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 like synths, and it's like, what is? I don't even know what half of these do. So,
But, I mean,
then
you make a very good point, and the paralysis of choice is something that a lot of salesmen know, which is why if you go into a music store, they won't say, which of these guitars do you want? They'll talk to you for a bit and they'll give you a choice between two. Do you want this one or that one? And most people can handle a binary choice, but they can't handle a choice between 10 or so different things. And it's interesting as well, the whole thing about waiting for your door to fire up and having all your different templates and they take minutes to load, is how popular the thread on the forums has been this year about going doorless. Because just here on my left, I've still got my old 32-track digital recorder. And when I first started doing FAWM, I didn't use computers at all. I just used that and was literally just plugging a guitar cable with a guitar at one end straight into a 32-track recorder. And you don't have to spend a lot of money on 32-track recorders. You can buy these little pocket recorders that are nuts in terms of what they do. I mean, there's the Tascam DR40 and a couple of the other ones will let you do overdubs, and they'll record four tracks simultaneously if you want.
But Chris, do you like? I know you were making a good point, but it's like, what that Korg, is it D3200?
Yeah.
It's the same one my dad has, and I've recorded a bunch with it. And recording with a DAW is a lot less of a project than recording with that one, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is why I use Ableton now, and I know I do not still use the D3200. But the point that I was making at the time was that was all I knew.
Oh, yeah.
So don't rely on the techniques and the ways of doing things that you know now to be a problem, because you may well find that there are alternative techniques that work more for you. And everyone's different. You know, I mean, some people look at Ableton and go, oh, that's ridiculous. I can't use that.
Yeah.
And some people are quite happy just using Audacity, you know, and a simple sound editing program.
Yeah.
And if that floats your boat, then knock yourself out.
You're making a good point, because
That's all you need.
I think I need to experiment with that, because I have an idea in my head that I need to do some sort of a larger project with a lot more instruments and this sort of thing, and I want to embark on it, but I don't really know how I'm gonna make it manageable. And I think that's a good idea, to just have like a handheld recorder and do little takes and like try to build up some sort of base of riffs and ideas and lines and melodies, and then try to figure out how they might fit together and how I might build on top of them and underneath them and so on and so on. So that's a very good idea, actually. I might very well try to do something with that. And I might still reduce Reaper. I just turn the mic on and use one track on Reaper. That's not too complicated.
Yeah, also true. Yeah. Yeah, but I think that's why I use an iPhone so much, because it's immediate. So a lot of what happens to me is come home from work, pick up instrument, typically guitar, doesn't always end up that way. Just hit record, see what happens. Sometimes it works.
Yeah.
I think, but the thing is, right? Years and years ago, I had like a cassette recorder with a inbuilt microphone on it, so like a Walkman type thing. And before I had that, I would always come up and think, "Oh, that sounds really good," and forget it immediately. Or like the next time, I'm like, "Oh, I should have just recorded it." So that's where my mentality is coming from. Is, you know, if you come up with something, just commit it to some form of record so that you can go back to it. You know, and the ones that are decent, you can at least nick. Or try it out.
Just have a directory on your hard drive that's your ideas bin.
Yeah.
You know? And it might be a text file just full of titles, or a notebook.
Yeah.
Or that is literally just, so if you do get stuck, then just go to your ideas bin.
Yeah.
Have a riffle round, see what's in there.
The problem with that also is that I ran into this when listening to my voice memos. Well, one example is the one I already mentioned, where I couldn't make heads or tails of that one recording, but also it takes quite a bit of effort to listen through whatever you have there. It's always like, well, something, and then it's like 20 minutes recording, and there might be one riff in the middle that's kind of all right.
Mine are seldom more than 3 minutes. They're just, I just stop, you know, when I'm pretty sure I've got as much as is going to come out for that particular, you know, 2 or 3 part idea.
Yeah. Three chords and the truth.
Yeah.
If your song ain't saying what it needs to say in 5 minutes, then move on to something else.
No. 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
That's all good.
Says the guy who did a 24-minute prog epic in the first weekend February album we writing month a few years ago.
There we go.
Oh, that was a long time ago. Here's something a little bit shorter. Let's go to another track. This one is by a Big Mood. The song's called Open Letter to Jeremy.
There's something that I missed about you, and I can't put my finger on it. Something about the comfortable silence that I know we can share, but it's in the air, this unspoken question. I hold you to let it go. I want you to know I'm not the one I never was. Still wanna talk simply because you're still my friend. I wanna be yours. Can we be cool and laugh like before? There's something that I missed about you. Familiar like old friends ought to. Running into memories of your place back east. Smoking on the rooftop was a sweet release. But it's in the air, this unspoken question. To know I'm not the one I never was. Still wanna talk simply because you're still my friend. I wanna be before.
That is Open Letter to Jeremy by Big Mood. And wow, that's a lot of harmonies.
And those bass harmonics. Dragon Dreams, who is a man who knows his bass guitars and has a collection that is in double figures of such instruments, is just saying bass harmonics. So I think Big Mood has gained another fan there. Certainly, I heard even before, because that's the first thing of hers that I heard, and I listened to that when she posted it about 2 weeks ago, and it was like, who is this and why is she not on my watch list? And that was before the bass had come in.
Oh, right.
Just stunningly good.
How did you find it?
It's literally just going through the latest songs on FAWM and just setting I sometimes set an hour where I'll just literally just randomly click new songs, because it's all about listening and commenting, folks. And you find amazing people that you'd not heard of before. And it's like, oh, how have I not? And she's been doing FAWM for what, 3 years now? And it's like, why have I not heard her stuff before? It's amazing.
Yeah.
So much stuff.
Yeah.
So much music.
Yeah.
Have to listen to everything.
Yeah, you do. Basically, you have to put the whole of February aside, and March, and probably a little bit of April as well.
Now, is the site going to be open during March and April this year?
I would imagine it will probably go the same way as it did last year, which was, I think, that it closed in the middle of April. Could be wrong.
So there is time.
Yeah, March is listening and commenting month, folks. It always has been. So even if you're really busy with your own stuff, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with prioritizing your own creative endeavors, when those are done for this February, then please do show some of the other people on the FAWM website some love and listen to their stuff and leave comments. Because as you've heard with everything that we've played on this show, everything we've played on the show since we did the pre-show at the end of January, there's some staggeringly good stuff out there that you would love. So go find it.
Yeah, I'll say. And also, typically towards the end of FAWM, there is a thread on the forums that is like, who is going to stick around and be there listening, and so you can find the people who will be there, who will be listening, who will be commenting, and you can also have a little bit of
socialize.
Yeah, socialize with.
Yeah,
interaction. Because I mean we're a good bunch of people on the whole. I think we're nice to talk to. We don't bite.
Yeah, when you sum us all up, it's it turns into some sort of giant monster squid. I don't know.
What?
We're back to so you had done this wallpaper on, was it Monday show, or is it? No, it was Errol's show, which had tentacles on it.
Oh yeah.
And it rather disturbed me. So I ended up writing a song called Surrender to the Tentacles.
Very nice.
And Ben, you also wrote the song about getting your song on FAWMtalk.
Oh yeah. I was buzzing, man. I was buzzing. Like, I didn't know because I'd not been paying attention. And then it's like, what? You played my song? No way. That was inspired.
That is the reaction that we were going for.
Right, exactly,
absolutely,
right.
Ben. Yeah. We aim, if only we could make everybody who's watching the show as happy as that, then our time would be well spent.
I'm waiting. We're short like 24 songs about thanking us for playing their songs.
Yeah, that's going to be the after FAWM show in March. It's just going to be songs about us. So if you want your songs on the show, folks, get writing. My name's Chris. That's you, her over there.
Yeah. Ooh, well, you're gonna write songs about something, right? So might as well
Yeah.
be
Anything
about
can
me.
be a song, man. Absolutely anything can be a song.
Moths.
Mothcore is
Mothcore.
a genre whose time has come. Forget sloths. Sloths are so last year.
Moths.
It's moths now.
Oh, it's moths. Gotta
Or
keep up with
moths.
There was
it.
a lot of. It was a lot. I was waiting for
Mothcore?
you to say that. I was waiting for you to say it. Sloth and Moth. That was a lot of fun last year, though.
Oh, I had so much fun.
Yeah.
I do have a Slothcore Republic T-shirt.
Yeah, you wore it on one of the shows, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Proudly.
Yeah, of
Very
course.
proudly.
I think the one I did was a little bit too slow. It was 10 beats per minute.
Respect.
And it was pretty extreme. It was basically me like going. Yeah. It was called Chocolate.
Oh yes. That's brilliant. So I discovered when trying to do synth-based Slothcore that this baby, it basically it's a music workstation. So you play a note and it goes, oh yes, minor blues in D. I can do that, and it just goes off and does its stuff. But its minimum tempo setting is 40 beats per minute.
What?
Not good enough. It's too fast. It's recklessly fast. 40 beats per minute.
You're gonna get yourself hurt.
Yeah.
You need
just
to-
gotta be careful.
Aspire writing a 3-minute song with just one measure.
That'll work. But a measure of how many beats, says the man who just released an album that features one song that was written in 1916 time.
It's gonna be like
Because I'm a masochist.
119.4.
119.4. Yeah, that'd work. It's a nice mixture of simple and compound time there. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 ad infinitum. Very near.
Oh my god.
And then you'll have people analysing it to see if there are hidden messages in the patterns of
That's right.
the patterns of notes.
And there will be.
And there will be, of course, yeah. And the total number of beats will have to be prime.
I always assume there are hidden messages in songs. That's why I only listen to one song during every form.
So, all right, question for both of you. What was the first hidden message in a song that you guys became aware of?
Well, I don't know how hidden it is, but I think it must have been the one in Pink Floyd's The Wall. But it's not that hidden, isn't it?
Well, no.
It's just backwards.
It's just backwards, and if you play it the right way round, it is literally just the engineer going, Roger, Sarah's on the phone, which is not particularly exciting.
Yeah, it's just
But
stupid.
What about you, Ben?
I'm not even sure I know of one, to be honest. No, well, maybe I do. I can't think of anything.
The first one that my late cousin Peter played me when I was very little. He got out a copy of, again, Pink Floyd, Ummagumma.
Mm.
And there's a track on Ummagumma called Several Species of Small Furry Animals Gathered Together in a Cave and Grooving with a Pict, because that was what prog was about in those days.
Mm.
And there's a bit where you just hear this sort of funny squeaking noise when you play it at normal speed. But
Right.
if you slow the album down, it becomes the whole band running up to the microphone, Goons style, and shouting, well, that was very avant-garde, wasn't it? And then running up.
That's weird. But cool.
Weird.
Yeah, Roger Waters loves doing it. He had cracky. Oh yeah, it's Amusing Ourselves to Death, the album that he wrote about Neil Postman's book about the use of popular media in warping democracy and modern thinking.
Blimey.
And there's a track on that which features something that was quite clearly supposed to be David Bowman turning off Hal in 2001: A Space Odyssey. So you've got the breathing very loud in the headphones and various spaceship noises going on. And Roger Waters apparently wrote to Stanley Kubrick saying, "Can I use the sample of Hal going, 'Please stop, Dave, I'm afraid'?" And Kubrick said no.
Right.
So instead, there is a long rant that is played backwards of Roger Waters basically not being very happy with Stanley Kubrick. And that's the audio that you get on the album.
Yeah.
When he subsequently toured that album, Kubrick had passed away, so he was able to perform it live with the Douglas Rain voiceover of "Dave, I'm afraid," and it transcends the track. It is not the same track without it, even if it does have Roger backwards ranting.
Yeah, but what is like? I'm a rock musician, so you should give everything to me.
Yeah, well, I mean, Prince loved his backward masking, but rather than satanic stuff, it was always sort of, "Please praise God on high, because He is the Almighty."
Well,
And yeah, he was still had up by the sort of Tipper Gore and that lot. "Oh, it's satanic messages," and it's like, have you actually listened to it?
well, since you are a enthusiast, secret message enthusiast, have you done any secret messages yourself?
Good question.
I haven't.
What?
That's an omission
Come on,
on
man.
my part, isn't it? I've been slacking.
Or you're just saying that.
That's going to be a challenge, surely. Go on, do the head first only hidden message challenge. Get it. In the
Well, I
forum.
think we should make it not just the head first only challenge. I think we should all
It's the
do.
FAWM talk.
Yeah, we should do the FAWMtalk challenge. So, all right, folks, we want Baskwood maxing,
That'll do.
or even Backswood masking. That will do. Yeah, do one. We want to hear it.
Yep.
Dragon Dream said, "Yeah, but if he had done one, would he actually tell us?" I was like,
Yeah.
"I plead ignorance, my lad. I would say that, wouldn't I?"
I haven't done any.
What's the House of Cards? "I couldn't possibly comment," is the House of Cards response.
Right.
Yeah. How do you do that in a door, says Pearl Manhattan. Can we have a tutorial? Depends what door you're using, but basically the easiest way of doing it is you sing it forwards and then you open the clip, and your door, with each little clip of audio that you have in it, will have a bunch of different controls on it. And in Ableton, the controls include stretching it so it's twice as long, or halving it so it plays in half the time but maintains the pitch.
Wow.
And in amongst it all, there is a button that just says reverse.
Yeah.
I
And
think
Dragon G says Reaper allows you to reverse a take too. So Dragon G says, Paul, behave.
Whoa, boy.
You can even reverse it in GarageBand. I'm pretty sure there's a button to do it.
I think you can reverse
So
in Audacity.
Check your doors manual, Pearl. Yeah, you should be able to find a way of doing it.
I think you
And
can.
Not Audacity.
As Alex has just said, you
Yeah.
just do it in
Okay.
Audacity.
Yeah.
I
The
think
king.
you can reverse a
Great minds.
clip in Windows Sound Recorder from Windows 90. No, from Windows 3.11.
You are, in fact, absolutely right, because that is how I know that the sound clip from the wall was Roger.
Right.
Carol's on the phone.
Right.
Because I took my ripped copy of the wall and put it into Windows 95 sound recorder, and you could turn the whole track. You had to turn the whole track backwards,
So you could do
but
it.
even the original Windows sound recorder would do that, which is how I knew that one.
Okay.
So there you go.
And
You
it
don't
doesn't-
need high tech. You don't need a fancy schmancy DAW. You can do it in Audacity. You can do it in Windows. Good Lord.
Yeah, and it doesn't even have that many controls. It seems like all music sound people are all obsessed about turning things around. Just like
Yeah,
reverse
it's
stuff.
it's a cult. It's absolutely a cult.
So next year,
A cult rather than occult. I have to.
next year, all Chris's tracks are going to be backwards. Just plain
Yeah,
and simple.
I have actually done, because one trick that I don't do very often, but it is a lovely trick that works really well, is that if you have a drum track, reverse it, and while it's reversed, drop a really, really, really soggy reverb on it. And I mean, plate reverb or convolution reverb, maybe even those inching down oil tanks impulse response for your convolution reverb. Really go over the top, but smother your drums in reverb while they're reversed, render out that track with the reverb applied to it, and then reverse it back again.
Right.
And you get pretty much the same drum sound as any of the later Beatles albums. That's how they did it. It's
Got you.
reversing the drums, reverbing them, then reversing them back. So, and in some cases you can, if you reverse the reverb but keep the drums reversed, there's all sorts of weird things you can do.
Right.
There's a great track by Adrian Bellew, who started off in Zappa's band, went on to Talking Heads and various other Tom Tom Club, and ended up in King Crimson and does a lot of solo work. He brought an album out with a track called Big Electric Cat, and all the drums on that, the whole beat is backwards. And because Adrian started as a drummer, he's known as a guitarist, but he started as a drummer. So he basically figured out what the drum beat was that he wanted to play, recorded it, reversed it, and then learnt the reversed drum beat, recorded that and played that for real on a drum kit, and then reversed that. So all the drums are backwards and he's playing fretless guitar on it as well. It's a mad track. It'll be on YouTube. Big Electric Cat by Adrian Bellew. Have a listen to it. The drums on that, the first time I heard it, it was like, I get what he's done. Oh, I like that.
What has always interested me is how David Lynch did the reverse speaking thing in Twin Peaks.
Peaks.
I think it is the way I've figured it. I haven't read anything about this, but I guess he just recorded the thing, then reversed it, and had the actors learn what it sounded like and mouth those things.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah.
That's
So
madness.
all the cast not only had to learn their lines backwards, they had to say all the lines of dialogue in each scene in reverse order.
God, it's elaborate.
Yeah.
Oh, what a freak!
But it just is one of those scenes when Sherilyn Fenn starts talking backwards. It's like, this is very strange. It's lovely. Yeah. Great fun. So yeah. So there you go. There's a new compositional tool for you out there.
Very cool.
So, Pearl says, I use Mixcraft and I'm still learning it, but I'll explore. There you go. Ryako says, if you record a bunch of stuff in one go, then make sure to consolidate the section you want to use first before reversing, which is a very good point, because otherwise you might get bits left out that aren't reversed, and that would be bad.
Yeah. So now I'm thinking like recording some guitar tracks, then reversing them, and trying to play the reversed sound with my guitar.
Ooh,
Maybe.
yeah, that'll work. Yeah. But I mean, there are reverse guitar solos in a lot of Beatles tracks. And Dragon Dream says, I've been using reverse guitar in a lot of my tracks this year.
Yeah. Speaking of guitar effects, what I've picked up recently on a lot of tracks is the thing that Leonard Skinner does on their Freebird, which is they have recorded the guitar solo twice on top of each other, and it's almost the same thing, but not quite. It deviates in some parts a little bit, and especially the fast part, you really hear the different guitar sounds. But that's like I've heard that on so many tracks since I started pay attention.
Well, probably most of mine this year, because I do that a lot. One thing that's really nice at doing, if you do double guitar tracks, and like Ben there has more than one guitar, is if you use a different guitar and you don't tune one of the guitars that you use, that slight difference in tuning acts as a sort of natural chorus pedal, and it's such a satisfying result. In terms of being able to double things accurately, apparently, I heard this from a sound engineer guy that I used to know, Robert Plant could replicate a vocal take so closely that his voice would actually start phasing when they played the two takes back, which is when the one signal is delayed by, I think it's between 3 and 10 milliseconds, because it's all about delaying a signal and then recombining it is what phases and flanges and choruses all do.
Yeah,
they just do it by different amounts.
Just depends on the pitch.
Yeah, he could literally just record another vocal track that was so similar to the one they just done that they would phase. Stunning.
Yeah. I don't have that problem.
Yeah, neither do.
Yeah. Let's go complaining on the forums. I have this problem. My vocals start to phase.
Yeah. Just so phenomenally talented. It's just.
Mind you, there was a gig that Led Zeppelin played in the early days. I think they played somewhere in Birmingham, and the PA blew up because they'd overloaded it. So Bonham basically didn't need a PA. Jimmy Page had got his amps, and John Paul Jones had got his amps. And bless him, Robert just sang louder, and they could still hear him at the back of the hall. That guy has some pipes on him.
Yeah,
he
really does. Seen that, man.
Yep.
So cool.
Well, let's see. What do we got coming up? I think. Oh, right, we have quite a few shows this week.
We are very, very busy for the rest of FAWM.
That's good news.
So we have. Well, I'll be back tomorrow night with my regular Thursday night show on Twitch, which I do twice a week. But yes, we have a special show on Friday, the 25th of January.
Yes.
Is that the usual time? 7 p.m.
Yeah.
GMT, Juha? So
I think so, yes.
7 p.m. GMT UTC on Friday, we have a special guest.
And
then we have another show on
equally
Saturday, the 26th of February, with another special guest. And then on Monday, the 28th, we will be back with another FAWMtalk with another special guest. And then once we've all done February out of the way and collapsed in a heap for the whole of Tuesday, March the 1st, we'll be back with a final FAWMtalk of the season on Wednesday, March the 2nd, with not one, but two very special guests.
Crikey.
It'll be
gonna be fun.
Overloaded episode. I gotta figure out how to fit 4 people into the into the thing, but
yeah,
I guess we'll figure something.
Be looking like the Brady Bunch or whatever.
Yeah, everybody's just gonna have like eyes.
Yeah. Or a glove puppet.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
I've got Ziltoid behind me there.
Yeah. Ziltoid.
I don't
Devin
really.
Townsend.
I don't have. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Ziltoid the Omni. Oh, that's very good.
Very good.
What does the fox say, Juha?
Well, I would assume it has something to do with eviction notices.
Okay, not the answer I was expecting.
Right. But yeah, do check out Headfirst Only Twitch show tomorrow on twitch.tv/Headfirst Only.
Oh, I
Close.
see.
That's
It's the
cool.
closest I have.
The dude abides.
Yeah, the
Dude
dude.
most definitely abides.
I've got
like
Walter
it.
Subcheck somewhere as well.
Did you know? All right, because I always say this when people bring up Walter, that Walter is actually the Coen brothers taking the piss out of the legendary movie director John Milius.
No? And why?
Because if you Google John Milius and then Google a picture of John Goodman as Walter
Oh, no.
they are identical. And the whole thing, because Milius was one of these he wrote the screenplay for Conan the Barbarian, right? He's very much into his guns, and he is basically Walter.
Yeah, I see it, yeah. Oh,
You
that's
see it?
hilarious, yeah.
Yeah, and it just puts the whole movie in a completely different context when you look. Because I was pissing myself laughing when I watched that movie for the first time, and my friends were going, "What's the matter?" It's John Milius.
Oh my
There you
god, I love John Goodman, especially in in Flintstones.
Oh, God.
Yeah, well, so
Yeah. Mm.
but yeah, thank you a lot, Ben, for being in the show tonight.
Yeah,
that was a
man.
blast.
It's always a pleasure, man.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll
Thank you
definitely-
to our one and only sw1n3flu. So do
Yeah.
check out Ben's stuff if you've been taking part in FAWM. Then you need to hear Ben's vocal stylings. And man, I still don't know, how do you do that? Is it sort of drinking lots of lemon tea, or is there just a secret to being able to do that?
Don't know.
genetics.
But well,
yeah.
yeah, that and practice maybe. But I mean, you just got to think about, how does Sapient do what he does? It's different grade, isn't it? So
Well, this is true.
people just do what they do. I'm sure there's probably better ways of approaching it, but I just do what I can.
As so say we all.
All right. For our last track today, we got one by Bendy Bum, and this one is called "Love in the Way Things Are." So until Friday, have a great FAWM, everybody.
Bye all.
Cheers, guys. Peace.
Do you believe your best days are behind you? Years stretching out ahead. Hollow like a lightning struck tree, waiting to bloom again. No matter what the inner critic says, you don't sleep on paving slabs. And there's a roof over your rascal bed, so I hold back your thanks. Don't sweat over how it ought to be. There's love in the way things are. Come back from the way it ought to be. There's love in the way things are. Won't you forgive the lowest of yourself? There's no cost to being kind. Overcoming all these delusions is the quest of humankind. Give your thanks up to Lady Luck, your lovers and your friends. And give your thanks to the universe for all that she has sent. Oh, won't you give some love just for being here beneath blue skies or gray? And give your thanks finally to yourself for living life this way. Don't sweat over how it ought to be. There's have my toes, not disfigured or in prison, so why the need to moan? Forgive the lowest of yourself, it's cost nothing to be kind. Overcoming these delusions is the quest of humankind.